Thank you. To reiterate my colleague on item 4.2, the Sikh Human Rights Group wholeheartedly supports the enactment of the draft convention, as we believe it is absolutely necessary within the current climate to uphold the right to development. Sikh Human Rights Group believes there is a tendency amongst humans to seek universal uniformity in ethics and in political order and in worldviews. It is also evident amongst the international human rights community and prominent international organisations and agencies who are striving to protect human rights. In other words, there is a tendency, especially amongst the latter, to adopt a universalistic language. This is especially noticed when it comes to acknowledging, comprehending and describing diversity. Consequently, there is limited prism from which the many issues surrounding diversity can be readdressed. Where we believe the draft convention could be advanced is by ensuring the language adopted is pluralistic rather than universalistic. Sikh Human Rights Group believes this will be a better encompass all cultures and groups of people all over the world. In other words, we fear that if the legalistic language stays the same in conventions and declarations enacted and imposed by the United Nations, then none or very little progress will be made. Therefore, we need to start listening to the cultures from all corners of the globe and start to recognise how different they all are. For instance, the indigenous peoples in Africa have a very different relationship with issues surrounding diversity compared to those living in cities in Europe. Therefore, the convention cannot only speak to one culture and one group of peoples, it needs to use language that speaks to the entire planet. As Sri Lanka stated in the general statements, we cannot leave anyone behind. We fear that if the United Nations continue to use universalistic language, then we will be leaving people, leaving cultures and leaving voices behind. We also stand with the statement made by the Women Federation for World Peace International. The right to development is more than just a right, but is a hope to life for certain communities around the globe. We therefore need to ensure the language adopted by the United Nations is inclusive of all. To further advance the right to development, we need to be more motivated to change. However, in order to do so, we need to recognise that what motivates each state and each culture is entirely different. Therefore, if we start to adapt a more pluralistic language, then we believe that will help tackle the many issues surrounding diversity. Thank you very much.